Welcome to 10-Minute Tips for Maximum Health and Wellness. We are here today with Dr. Joel Kahn, who is known as America's Holistic Heart Doc. He's the author of the Whole Heart Solution book, which is available for sale now, and he's also a clinical professor of medicine at Wayne State University School of Medicine and the director of cardiac wellness, the Michigan Healthcare Professionals PC. He's a graduate summa cum laude of the University of Michigan School of Medicine, and he lectures widely on the cardiac benefits of vegan nutrition and mind-body practices. He also writes for the Reader's Digest magazine as the Holistic Heart Doc. And today we are going to jump in and talk about Dr. Kahn's best advice for you in 10 minutes or less. Dr. Kahn, thank you for joining me today.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Well, obviously cardiac problems and cardiac disease is one of, if not the single biggest killer of Americans these days, is one of them. And it's a pleasure to have somebody who's a specialist in this. I really wanted to ask you, with such a complex topic, what is your single best advice? What is the number one thing that people can do to really maximize their cardiac health and wellness?
Well, that's a great question, and you're right. It is number one cause of death in America. Every 25 seconds, a heart attack. Every 40 seconds, a heart death. And those numbers haven't changed much, but they can. And this conversation for the next 9 minutes can do that. So step one, I have a 3-step program called DPR, Detect, Prevent, Reverse. Detect. It is the general feeling that at age 50, you get a colonoscopy. Age 50, you get a mammogram. Age 50, you get nothing to check your heart. You get blood tests and a blood pressure done. These are the official recommendations. Bottom line, get a coronary artery calcium CT scan. It's a CAT scan, takes 10 seconds, no IV, no iodine, no injection. You will have to pay out of pocket for it, but the prices come down in some communities, $100, $150, $200, the best couple $100 you could ever spend. And if you get a 0 score, you've got the arteries of a 20-year-old in your midlife. If you get a 300, 500, 800, 1200 score back, you have a problem, and you need to see what I do, a heart attack prevention specialist. It's not generally recommended. It's backed by 1,000 research papers and the American College of Cardiology, but it just hasn't hit mainstream the way it should. So that's the first part for sure.
Excellent. So the coronary artery calcium CT scan, is that what you called it?
Absolutely. Don't get it if you've had a stent, a bypass, a heart attack, because you already know you got it. But if you're out there playing racquetball, squash, downhill skiing, running marathons at age 48 to 58 or something, make sure that you've got the heart of a 20-year-old that you hope you have.
Okay, so that's the detection phase. Now, you said the next phase is prevention.
Yeah, really simple. We've learned in the last 15 years that lifestyle, what I call vitamin L, is more powerful than any pill out there and will be more powerful than any pill ever created. And it's about a 6-step program. You've got to not smoke. You've got to eat 5 to 6 servings minimum of fruits and vegetables a day. Don't whine about it. Do it. You got to keep your waist trim. Sleep 7 hours a night. You've got to drink 1 or 2 alcoholic drinks a week as a minimum. That's like one of the benefits. And you got to walk 30 to 40 minutes a day. That was 6 steps I just mentioned. That reduces a person's risk of a heart attack by 85% in 5 major studies involving over 100,000 people all over the world, and nobody does all 5 or 6. 1, 2, 3% of most populations hit them all. And really the one people fail on is fruits and vegetables. That's the number one biggest hole that people fall in, is not getting that. But 85% by simple lifestyle steps, prevent.
Yeah, and none of them are complex or too burdensome. It really is all of, it's just a mindset. I mean, move
really
more,
is.
move more, eat better, and don't
That's
do
right. Love more. Yeah, the whole thing. And, we just don't teach it enough. And nothing I said isn't completely supported by real hardcore science, but it's kind of like soft stuff. People want to talk about a laser. People want to talk about, robotic surgery. Well, I want to talk about how much broccoli and how much, beans and how many servings of brown rice a day you're eating. Because if you're not getting those in, you're robbing yourself of this amazing vitamin L.
That's great. Now we've got the next step is reverse.
The last step is, some people have heart disease. And the idea that diseases are reversible is not often promoted in standard medicine, yet they're backed by science. Adult diabetes is reversible in about 90% of cases. Pretty similar list to what I just described for heart attack prevention. But actual established heart disease is reversible through a nutritional program, predominantly that described by Dr. Dean Ornish and Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn. Very strong plant-based, but for that particular group of people, very effective. There are some supplements and vitamins, vitamin K2, and then you really get into even chelation, which many people may not be familiar with. But the bottom line is, don't be down in the dumps, think I've got heart disease. I'm talking about blocked arteries, and I'm just destined to have them get worse. Read about heart disease reversal, read good scientific studies on it, and it's something that should brighten up people's future, because their future is in their hands if they'll get educated and then make some changes that aren't actually very hard to make.
Right. Now, what age range for both men and women do you typically find the is it 50 plus where the heart disease for the most part starts to rear its head and start to show signs, or is there I know obviously people should take care of this throughout their lives optimally, but is there
Oh yeah, so in terms of prevention, and it's a great question, you can't start too young. And really in the last month, children that have healthier lifestyles proved to be middle-aged adults with less heart disease. A major study came out. And, kind of 20 to 30-year-olds that adopt healthier habits, pretty much the list I gave you, proved to be healthier 50 to 60-year-olds in a recent study that followed up. You're never too young to get some healthy habits. Have a little fun when you're young, and then clean it up by your mid-20s, and you'll have a much better chance of getting, a good, long, active, enjoyable career, family life, and social fun time. But it's never too late. But like that calcium scan, I wouldn't do it on a 20 or a 30-year-old. Early 40s, a smoker, a diabetic, a very strong family history. But by mid to late 40s, and certainly by 50, you think you're, the stud at the gym, find out and make sure you're not a statistic. My real passion is teaching high-level people, CEOs, get checked. And I have a book coming out in 2 weeks with the provocative title, Dead Execs Don't Get Bonuses. It's a book, how to survive healthy in a active and high-level career by knowing the right questions and getting the right tests.
I love that. Did I hear that correctly? Dead execs don't get bonuses?
Yeah, the subtitle is The Ultimate Guide to Survive Your Career with a Healthy Heart. But it'll be out in about 3 weeks.
I've got to tell you, no, it is provocative and it's good, and I think it'll probably get the attention of a lot of people who need to really hear that. And it sounds like if you do the 3-step processes you have, it's tremendously more effective than what typically people do is just take a statin, take a pill, and then continue on with their lifestyle and their diet and throw money down the toilet, as opposed to taking the holistic approach.
Right, because I actually tell a lot of people, you're A-OK, and, work on the lifestyle and drop the drugs. And I can say that actually with confidence. I've proven that their arteries are youthful and resistant to whatever they're doing. And, so there's both sides of the equation. It's not just more care. It's sometimes a big hug and less care, which is great.
That is great. So you've got the Whole Heart Solution out now. Coming out soon is the Dead Execs Don't Get Bonuses. Dr. Kahn, how else can people find you or contact you if they want more information? Where should they go?
Yeah, well, the best way to find me is at my website, Dr. Joel Kahn, but that's DrJoelKahn.com. And if you actually go to a site that's drjoelkahn.com/hearts, you can email me and I'll mail you a free heart attack guide that has all this in a nice little 10-page document that I wrote up recently. drjoelkahn.com/hearts.
Oh, that's perfect. Well, Dr. Kahn, I really appreciate your time here, shedding some light on a very serious subject and showing a 3-step detect, prevent, reverse protocol that really anybody can do in order to live a much longer and healthier life. So once more, thank you for sharing your 10-minute tips on maximum health and wellness.
Well, thank you, sir, because I give this talk in gas stations and Costco's anywhere I can because I just like to get it out. And this was a great one. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.